Now let's take a look at other stories from Nigeria, where Ekiti and Kogi state governments have directed hospitals in the states to stop refusing victims of gunshot injury treatment because they do not present a police report. Earlier in the month, the Inspector General of Police, that's Kayode Betokun, had reiterated the same directive, which he said was in compliance with the provisions of the Compulsory Treatment and Care for Victims of Gunshot Act of 2017. Hospitals in Nigeria are usually reluctant to treat gunshot injuries unless the patients submit a police report that they are not criminal suspects on the run. The Gunshot Act of 2017, however, permits medical facilities to receive and treat victims of gunshots without a police report. Arise analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us again on Newsday to provide his perspective on this recurrent decimal. It's great to have you on the program, Mr. Sobowale. Warm welcome to you.
It's a pleasure being here as usual.
Right. Let's dig straight in. You know, I always ask for your perspective on topics before we really get in. You know, what's your take on this recurring issue?
It's nice that the Inspector General is reiterating this, and the two commissioners are, following what he has said. I think you see, it is a development that has always been there. You get me? If you treat people at the point of need, whether they are criminals or even if they are war victims, you treat them at the point of need. What you see is the level of street violence and crime, criminality, armed robbery especially, that led to this suspicion and doubt about how to treat victims of gunshot wounds. You see, there are many issues involved. There's professionalism on the part of all parties involved. The police, the doctors, and the public. There is the issue of empathy. There is the issue of confidentiality. And there's the issue of the police, trying to protect information. If a person is brought in many places until now, people will be suspicious that the person is an armed robber. And if the medical people treat such people, the police will go ahead and put them into custody. But it is a welcome development, and it is nice that it is coming from the horse's mouth. That is the Inspector General of Police. Because if it had come from these doctors alone, these commissioners for health, the announcement will not have had the same credibility as that from the Inspector General of Police. But you see, there are many reasons why people are skeptical about following that act, which has been in place from 2017. Okay, in the case of the doctor, you see, there is confidentiality between the doctor, professional confidentiality between the doctor and the victim. You are not supposed to tell anybody what is wrong with your friend. The same thing with the police. Okay, again, with the doctor, you see, the doctor is not supposed immediately to release the name to the police because of confidentiality. But at the same time, the police too have a dilemma. You get me? They will not want to give the name of the victim to anybody outside the police, because you never know. They say there have been instances where some people are being pursued, and if they reveal the identity or the location, you put the victim in further jeopardy and danger. But you see, the good thing about this is the humanity behind the law. The law is made for man, not man for the law. I like the empathy, the humanity, compassion inherent in this. And I think with time it will catch on. Although people will still be careful about the circumstances and context of every gunshot wound. We are lucky we have gunshot wounds here. In Britain and other European countries, what they have is knife wounds. Those people shouting a loud bar, and then they stab people to death. They even behead. But what is prevalent in our environment and in the US is gunshot wounds. And this show of humanity and compassion by the IG. Maybe it should even, how do I put it, give more humanity to our society. Because the older implementation was dehumanizing. See, you are supposed to be your brother's keeper, good Samaritan, but people don't want to be involved in crime, so they turn their back on people who are wounded. This is a very good step. It's what is called salutary, public-spirited move, and I support it.
Very wise words from you, as always, Mr. Sobowale. But even though you applaud this, it's still a directive. What other measures would you like to see to ensure that this is actually implemented, to the T, and that all these hospitals in the states actually implement this directive?
That must be practicality for it to have acceptability. The police must show concrete evidence that they are ready to give people benefit of doubt and not arrest people who give, or not go and demand for police report first. If you have a police report, if that is done, if they waive the existence of police report, that is from the appropriate police itself, that will be okay. And then if the doctors too, you get me, manage their confidentiality with the release of information, we'll move ahead. But you see, the doubt over the entire process has been, minimized now because the IG is involved. And then again, it's only 2 state commissioners that are the others to follow suit, although it's not even necessary. The police, public relations department can accentuate this by giving it publicity, so it reaches out to people. It's not every day that people get gunshot wounds anyway. Although you are not too sure now with this banditry and marauding all over. Those were the sort of things that armed robbery before this one. Those are the sort of things that cast aspersion and doubt on that 2017 Act. But things should work out now, since the authorities are involved. And it will make our society more human, more feeling, and more ready to meet victims of violence at the point of need.
Now, I know we focus a lot on the victims, but one of the things that was mentioned is that even criminals deserve the right to access healthcare as well. What will it take for us to have a mindset shift? Because it's one thing to show empathy to somebody who clearly seems to be a victim, and another case when we see somebody who potentially is a perpetrator. How do we start sensitizing our healthcare system and healthcare workers who are part of these communities as well to want to be...
This act is about victims, not about criminals.
But at this point, because there's no police report, we don't know who's who.
No, that is not, you have missed the point. You have missed the point. Even they said it there, that even if you are a criminal, you are entitled to something. Why people were insisting on police report before was not to be accused of collusion with the victim. We are talking of victim now, because there is suspicion that it could be a crime, and that victim could be a criminal. But it's a suspicion.
Now, I'm speaking of the criminals as well, who also deserve
the criminal is entitled to treatment. That goes without saying.
And
in fact, that is what is at the bottom of this, that even a prisoner, even a criminal, armed robber, is entitled to treatment at point of need.
That's why my question is, what will it take for us to have that evolution in mindset, to have empathy towards the criminals?
That's what you just asked.
Yes, I'm asking, but you haven't answered it.
I've answered it. That's what she just asked.
Okay.
That is what she just asked. And that's what I answered. That is, people should follow, and that the police should show practicality and show people that when these things happen, they don't ask for police report first. Or tell them, why have you not got police report? That's what I said. And that the police should publicize, especially since it is that Hemsman, the Inspector General, that has done it. That the fact that the IG has done it has given credibility to it. and it should go on like that. So it's not an issue of criminality now. It's victim. The victim, regardless of the status, is entitled to first aid care without police report.
Well said, Mr. Sobowale. Would you like to see where this directive will evolve into more or less a law in which any hospital, in where it goes from a directive, we start to see consequences for those who breach this directive? Would you like to see a demonstration?
An old law.
I know.
2017.
I know.
But you see, people don't want to stick your neck out and be involved with the police over a crime you don't know anything about. That's why I mentioned professionalism. You see, it's the duty of the doctor or the professional duty according to their oath of their professional oath, Hippocratic oath. Just like the banker, they are not supposed to reveal information, confidential information between them and their clients. But you see, because of high rate of crime, armed robbery, you get me? The police, the hospitals got wary about just treating people, so that's why they were asking for police report. The IG has now gone on the air. It's not a new law.
I know, but are you content with the level of consequences you've seen? Are you content with the level of consequences that you've seen for those that have gone ahead to flout this over time? Because we've seen it happen.
People have gone to jail over it.
Do you think it's good enough what you've seen in terms of the consequences, or you want to see it intensify?
Look, I see it as an act of mercy. Okay. I'm afraid you have not seen it like that. It's an act of mercy, of compassion.
Okay.
Look at my hand.
I'm going to draw the line here.
Yes, humanity.
Right. On that note, thank you, Mr. Sobowale.